I was aware of like the real world and Hustlers University before that, and how it was potentially a uh, pyramid scheme, MLM scheme. So I decided to do a thread about that, and I kind of started researching. And what really made me want to start doing more was seeing how the content and the promotional content was just all targeted at kids.
Mm.
So I was seeing like the video of, for example, let's say Justin Waller and all Tate's friends saying like, "Oh, we've got 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds in here making more money than their teachers and their parents." And this
Yeah.
was like all the promotion, a big majority of it, and
And they
this
don't
really
try to
shocked
hide it
me. And
either.
so, no, they're not shy about it. That's their target audience. So that's when I felt kind of compelled to start posting about it. And I found that people just weren't aware that that was a thing, that they were targeting kids in this way. And so then, yeah, I started looking into it more and more. I started thinking about, what is this? Is this a pyramid scheme, a MLM scheme? Because if it was a legal scheme and it was targeting children, that's something entirely different, something else. So yeah, that's when I started researching into what a pyramid scheme is and started looking closely into that. Uh, and I found that, in my opinion, it absolutely fits the definition of an illegal pyramid scheme that obviously targets kids that are as young as 12 years old, so targets 12-year-old boys.
So when you say an
Uh,
illegal pyramid scheme, are you also pursuing legal ramifications against the Tate brothers?
am I pursuing? No, but I'll put it this way: there's not a heap of detail I can go into, but I believe that they should and will face basically tell this in court. So because I believe it is illegal in a number of ways. One, I believe it's a pyramid scheme. I believe there's child slave labor involved on a pretty big scale as well.
Pretty serious
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And then there's the element that it's used as a funnel to recruit into the war room as well, which there's pretty substantial evidence of that being well, a human trafficking organization, really. So there's a lot of potential legal issues with it.
That's also
But the
been
whole
directly
thing,
stated as well, that it's a ramp, that they built that whole organization, the Real World Hustlers University. It's
yeah,
intended to be a ramp into the war room. Absolutely right about that.
Tate himself, Andrew said that himself plenty of times.
Yep.
And I've spoken to people that have worked like pretty high up in the real world, whether it's professors or long-term guys or sales guys for the war room and the real world, like ex-sales guys who've said as much as well, that they would look to the real world to upsell people into the war room. So I've got confirmation from Matthew Jury and the team of lawyers there that represent 4 women in the UK that are suing Andrew Tate for sexual assaults. So I connected with that team of lawyers there, said, "Hey, I think that this thing's an illegal scheme. Do you want to have a look over it?" They actually said, "Yeah." So I sent a stack of evidence through to them. They overlooked it for a while there and came back and said they believe it's an illegal pyramid scheme, or they believe it fits the criteria to be investigated as a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, I
And yeah, and our man Bruce Rivers had a look over it and made a video about it as well. And he mentioned in the video that he believes it's a pyramid scheme too. So before I had that kind of even confirmation from a lawyer, not that it is a pyramid scheme, but they believe it should be investigated. That's when I started publicly saying pyramid scheme. Up until that point, I just said maybe a pyramid scheme or MLM scheme. So
right.
yeah, I think that's important to note that I've had lawyers back up this opinion as well.
Absolutely. So that portion that we're talking about, that's the affiliate marketing portion. What is your assessment of the
Mm.
other campuses within the real world?
There's a few thoughts I have on that. Firstly, I've heard all sorts of feedback ranging from it's the most amazing thing in the world to it's the most basic rubbish that you can find on YouTube. So I've spoken to a lot of ends of the spectrum. One thing about the professors, quote unquote, that are in the real world, so they're sold as millionaire experts in their field, I guess. So one, no one's really able to provide evidence one, that they're experts in their field in any way, but two, that they're really millionaires as well. So I'm a bit doubtful on those claims. I've had just a lot of testimonies from that. It's just really basic, simple stuff. The common thing you hear is that you can find it on YouTube as well. Um, Having said that, I don't think that's really the point as far as it being a pyramid scheme, but that's, I think, what tricks people though, that they do have all this other content in the program. So what I believe it is a pyramid scheme masquerading as a multi-level marketing scheme through these other campuses and training material. The common thing I hear is that it's affiliate marketing, it's affiliate marketing, it's not a pyramid scheme. Affiliate marketing doesn't necessarily mean it's a pyramid scheme, but where that kind of gets blurry is that legal affiliate marketing, for example, could be, let's just say you're selling there's my laptop, but selling laptops, and if anyone clicked your link, then you get a percentage of that laptop.
Right.
So there's a product involved. So where it falls into, I believe, a pyramid scheme is that it's reliant on members recruiting other members to join the program. That's when it becomes illegal and a pyramid scheme, whatever you want to call it, and not something that everyone can make money in.
So
It just doesn't work.
as far as the definition of a pyramid scheme, it doesn't require the trickle down. Like stage one gets recruits somebody, and then stage two recruits somebody, and then
Mm.
at stage three, their money to pay for the service ends up going back to stage one. That's not a requirement for a pyramid scheme.
No, that's the kind of classic pyramid scheme that we all think of, and
Right.
that's what confused me at first, because I'm like, this, when I was originally kind of researching it, I thought this thing has to be illegal, but it doesn't look like a pyramid scheme. What's going on? And that's when I looked into it deeper. That doesn't necessarily make it, or isn't required for it to be a pyramid scheme. The classic, there's one person, he recruits another person, or two people, they recruit another two people. The classic pyramid structure, I guess, that we're used to seeing. And if a program is just completely reliant to function and hold up and continue, is it completely reliant on members recruiting other members to come in and join and making money from that? That's when it could vary. That's when it leans heavily towards likely being a pyramid scheme.
Okay. So if I'm understanding the logic, the part that makes this illegal, the theory that the remaining campuses, the affiliate marketing is basically the hub for the pyramid, and the other campuses are a front and aren't actually a service. So if you can prove that these aren't a service, then it becomes a pyramid scheme because the only thing that is part of the real world would then be the affiliate marketing. That's one thing that's left.
Um, Close. So the way I understand it is that if you can prove that it's reliant on members recruiting other members, then that's when it falls apart. So that's when people come to me and say, "Oh, I'm in the real world and it's amazing, and I've learnt this, this, and this." And they use that as a basis of it not being a pyramid scheme. I don't see that as relevant,
So then
because
the only requirement for the pyramid scheme is that you recruit other people.
it's the main requirement. I'd put it that way, from what I understand.
What are the
Because if
other
that's what
prerequisites
it's
then?
based on, then it's not a structure that everyone can make money in the way that it's sold.
Right. So I'm thinking if the other campuses are bogus, like they're all just bullshit, then if you can prove that, then you can prove that the affiliate marketing is the main product, which then I can see it like, yeah, that would be a
Mm.
pyramid scheme because you're getting people to join so that they can get other people to join. And that's what we think of when we think of like a pyramid.
Yeah. I also, a big factor I think as well is how it's promoted. That it's promoted as just a complete get rich quick scheme on nearly all the promotion you see for it. So we've got kids making $10,000 a month. If they can do it, you can do it too. So I haven't seen much promotion, for example, of someone saying, "Do you want to get really good at uh, drop shipping or copywriting?" So they might mention those things in some of the advertising, but it's not how the program is marketed.